I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTracker.com, and today I'm going to walk you through the Two Brothers S1R slip-on exhaust install on our 2018 Kawasaki Ninja 400 STG project bike. Okay, as you can see, we've already got it installed. It's a pretty basic install. If you want to see all the steps start to finish, just continue watching the video. We're going to show you everything. Made in America. You heard the sound clip already. This thing's definitely, it's got a note to it. It's a little to the loud side. Weight. This weighs 3.2 pounds on our digital shipping scale. The stock stuff was just over 9 pounds. So you've got a large weight savings. We're talking almost 6 pounds for sure. Looks. This is very unique, the way it looks. Colored end caps. That carbon, you got to give it to it. That is pretty bitchin' for sure. That weave is really unique. I would say that in the industry right now, there's no other product that looks exactly like this. In terms of street legal, okay, this thing had a disclaimer sticker on the backside. We'll show you that later in the video. Come with a disclaimer inside of the package as well. That's really a hot button now in the exhaust industry, is whether the stuff is street legal or not. Some people that's important to, other people it's not. That's a personal choice you need to make, but it's important you know that up front. Fuel controllers and fuel mapping. This bike technically still has the cat, it's still there in the head pipe, but you have changed the back pressure for sure. Lots of folks are asking, do I have to do a fuel controller? Do I have to map the ECU right now? Realistically, no you don't. The liability proof answer is yeah, you have to, or you could do internal engine damage. Well, I can tell you this, I've had so many bikes over the years that I've installed exhaust on and never done a fuel controller. I've never had an issue, not one time, okay? An example is that R3 right there. We put tons of different pipes on that bike. It still, to this day, does not have a fuel controller. It's been on the racetrack, it's going back to the racetrack, it's been ridden on the street, and it still runs fine, no problem. So my advice to you is you put this on there, ride it, see how you feel about it. If you don't like the throttle response, if you want to try and get that last little bit of power out of it, then let's talk about maybe a DynoJet power command or a Bazaz system. Maybe an FT ECU flash to just help you get that last little bit. But up front, do you have to do it? The choice is yours. I've cited examples where we've not done it and been just fine, and I've seen many, I'm talking thousands of other riders do the same thing, but this is a question we're getting a lot, and I want to make sure I give you that answer up front. So, you've heard how it sounds, you see what it looks like. If you want to watch the install, just stay tuned. Before we begin the exhaust install, let's start with our stock exhaust node. The 400's warmed up and ready to go. There it is at idle. So as you would expect, that is pretty tame. Okay, first thing we need to do is remove this trim panel here. Got a 4 mil down there. And then we have a standard hose clamp. From there you slide this forward, okay? You can see that that tongue right there slides into the heat shield. That clamp holds this on by capturing this and snugging the clamp up. Super simple stuff. Okay, now the mounting bolt. Always keep all your stock hardware if you don't reuse it during the install. It's always handy to have that stuff down the road. I like to keep all of the hardware removed from the bikes and suggest you do the same thing. Pull that out. Got a 12 mil socket now on the T-handle. Go ahead and loosen up that stock clamp. And then go ahead and remove the stock muffler. Okay, the Two Brothers S1R carbon slip-on for the Ninja 400. all these disclaimers, man, this has become more and more pronounced, okay, in the exhaust industry, and it's really important. I want to point all this out. This one comes with a giant sticker on it that says this product is designed and manufactured, blah, 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 blah. You need to know that. It's very important. This one also talks about the carbon fiber that is used on this can. They don't recommend using this for dyno run, stuff like that. It can damage the canister, so on and so forth. These are important things you need to know. And they also need to come off the canister before we start the bike. So I'm going to take this one off first, and then we're going to go ahead and remove the warning. Okay, the warning sticker looks to be the high temp type. Yeah, it is. So realistically, you could run the bike with that on there. I'm going to try and be pretty careful getting this off, because let's be realistic, nobody wants to look at that on the bike. Got it off, no problemo. Two Brothers logo sticker has a protective film over it. Let's make sure we go ahead and take that off too. Now that they've covered that, and it's really important that you understand, every rules and regulations, EPA stuff, the enforcement of that is different everywhere. It's knowing up front that this is not legal for road use, I think is important. From there you make your own decision, okay? What does the kit include? Good instructions with pictures. Very basic install on this. We already showed you how to remove the OE canister, super simple. Got a mid pipe, connector pipe. Got a nice barrel clamp here. You have two springs that are going to attach the can to the mid, and check this out. These slip joints are all machined. Give you a close look at the can here. Quality on this thing is really good. It looks cool. Slides in like so. Two springs on there, boom, boom. Barrel clamp. Canister strap. Metal canister strap, and there is a rubber insert. The rubber insert was not installed in it when it came, but look what they've done here. The raised portions actually push through the holes in that metal canister strap. Check that out. It holds itself in there. I mean, that actually looks really good. It fits really nice. So all in all, this is a cool package, I think. Now let's jump into the install. Okay, what do you need to do this tool-wise? Got a 6, got a 5, got a 12 wrench. I'm going to use a little bit of blue Loctite. Okay, now let's jump right into the install. I'm going to slide that mid pipe into the canister. I'm going to take and install the exhaust springs on the can. Notice how I've got it supported here on my tool cart. It's nice they've included that spring installation tool. It makes this a little bit easier for sure. Get those both installed. Okay, barrel clamp. I'm going to slip this over the connector pipe. I actually had to open that up just a little bit to allow it to slide over. From here, go ahead and slip this over that OE header. It's going to rotate like that for a second. Just let it hang, no big deal. Now let's get our canister strap mounting hardware. It consists of a bolt, a washer. Go ahead and slide the washer over the bolt. Got a big spacer that is going to go between the canister strap and the OE exhaust mount. We have another washer, and then we have a nut. We are going to use some blue thread locker on this because we want to make sure it's not going to come loose. Open the canister strap up enough so you can easily slide it over the can. Want to get this rotated up into position. Kind of double check the alignment, make sure you've got it all nice and square. And you can kind of see here, it looks like those two basically face each other. Put the bolt through. Next is the big spacer. and then through the OE footrest like that. Notice I'm putting just a little bit of pressure on that to hold it. Another washer, which was of course supplied. Before I put the nut on, I'm going to grab the blue thread locker and drizzle some on there. Get that finger tight. I got a little crazy with the Loctite, so I'm going to clean that up. Let's double check everything and make sure that we're in position. I want to be all the way up against that header before I snug this up here in the back. And we're going to go ahead and tighten this now. Got a 6mm internal hex and a 12mm nut. And snug that down, and then we'll use the wrench to finish it. Really important that this hardware does not come loose. That's why I used thread locker. Final torque on that. Now we'll come up here, rotate this into position. You want to have it towards the end. And before I tighten it, I really want to make sure I've got that can in just the right spot. These barrel clamps generate a lot of mechanical force. And you want to be aware of that as you're tightening this. What I like to do with this style is I want to see, okay, it's still rotating, so we're going to basically turn until that movement is gone. Okay, right there, that looks good. So as you can see, very simple install. It's important to note, do not start this motorcycle until you've cleaned off the tubing here. If you don't clean this off, the oil from your hands is going to basically burn in. It's going to blue the pipe and it's going to look nasty. It's really going to destroy the end result. To clean the tubing, I like to use WD-40. I'm going to put a little WD on a rag. I'm going to make sure you get it really good. Okay, now before I would do a surface like this, I'd really want to test it, see if it has any negative impact, and it looks like on this, that's going to be okay. So I'm just going to wipe this down as well. That's really not as critical, okay, as the pipes are. But still, I like to get the system good and clean before I start it. Only takes a second, and then I'm going to come back with a dry, clean rag and wipe it off. Okay, so we're totally done with the install. I've got the pipe all cleaned up. Never rev a cold motor. We've already worn this motor. If you watch the beginning of the video, you've already heard the exhaust clip, okay? This does not have an insert in it. That is all sold separate. If that's something you're interested in, you have to contact us and we can make that happen for you. Anytime we rev a bike, we bring in a professional to do that. So here's a little man van to rev the Two Brothers S1R slip-on the 2018 Ninja.
Super loud.
That is the loudest one we've installed so far, isn't it? Do you like it or not?
I like it.
Of course you like it, because you love loud, don't you?
I love loud.
You love loud. Here's some loud mufflers, man.
It definitely looks better than the other Two Brothers. I don't know, just like...
So you like this design, because they have a lot of different canisters over there.
Yeah, this one looks really nice. And instead of like the kind of like silverish gunmetal, it's like usually yellow. It looks a lot nicer when it's silver, because it's just
all black and silver.
Doesn't really like pop much.
This carbon's really unique too.
Yes.
For sure. It looks cool.
Sounds cool.
It sounds cool. The price is right. This is the Two Brothers S1R slip-on the 2018 Ninja 400 STG project bike.